Good morning everybody, welcome to Immortal Gaming. This is me again, Marvin, and we're now here for your request. I'm making a guide for all snipers out there. I'm not that advanced in knowing sniper as I was in a high wizard, but I did have a sniper and I played for it for quite a while, but I haven't finished it until the late games. So what are we going to do in this one? So we're just going to do the same partitions of videos that I did with high wizard guide. So let's just start with your leveling. First of all, I have to thank Ken De Leon for his ranger in China server. So what you're seeing right now is not C server but the China server, and it's just translated into English. So I'm just going to use this one in order for me to show you the runes, the equipments that are needed or suggested, and some of the leveling guides that I did. Okay. Where do we go when you start a sniper? So first, I would suggest that of course you are a long-ranged character. Second, you have passive skills on your archer job skills that increases your attack and damage to the enemy. So I would suggest that you would go to rocker on your early levels, level 11 to around level 30. And then from level 30 to level 40, you could go either through skeletons or Tarafrogs. That's because I think you would be getting more loots there instead of just staying in rockers. So you could also try on wormtails on your early parts of your game instead of rockers. Any would do. The one thing that I really like with sniper is that they have very big range of monsters that they could, farm on and attack, unlike other jobs. When you turn to hunter, that's the time that you go either hornets or flora, same as the wizard hornets. But if you have trouble keeping your health up, there's a good news for you because flora is immobile and you could either attack flora from a distance, and there is a place in Mjolnir wherein you could actually leave your hunter AFK. And now when you go to around level 51, because flora is around level 41, when you arrive at level 51, that's the time that you go to dustiness. Now you would stay in dustiness around 10 levels or 20 levels until you become level 72, and by this time I'm sure you are a sniper already. That's the time that your range of monsters that you could attack becomes larger and larger. Now here are some of the lists that I would be suggesting that you farm on if you're focused on base level, because job levels are not that important. It is important, but it is not as important as other jobs for you when you become a sniper. So when you become a sniper, I would suggest that you prioritize base level than your job level, because you would need more stats in order for you to be able to kill a lot of monsters at a very fast pace, like what this ranger is doing right now. So you could go to either Dustiness, you could go to Mantis, you could go to Munax. I think Munax are quite slow, but the fastest of all is Mantis and Dustiness. So Dustiness, if you are thinking of adding a little bit of job experience for yourself, but if you will be prioritizing base experience, I would suggest that you go to Mantis. Some of the times people would tend to go to either Minorus or Egira in that range of level from 60s to 70s. Between Egira and Minorus, I would suggest that you would start farming in Minorus until level 74. Why? The reason is that you have a chance. You need a Minoros card, because one big thing that the ranger or a sniper is very good at is boss hunts, mini bosses, and those MVP hunts, because he's going to be your damage dealer, because he's really good. This job is really good in making chunks of damage on a single target. So he's not good on AOEs, but he's good on single targets. Okay, so I would suggest that you go for Minoros on that early stage. If you get lucky, you get a Minoros card, and that's a huge advantage, because that's really a big thing, a big addition to your damage, because it's 25% more damage to large monsters, and most of the MVP bosses are large size. Okay, so after you become 74, I would suggest that you go to Orc Archers. After Orc Archers, I suggest that you stay there until level 81. And then after level 81, I suggest that you go to Incubus or Succubus or any monster within that range. You could go to Dragons, Petites, but I would really suggest Incubus and Succubus, because they have a spot in Glastheim wherein they spawn quite quickly. After you go farm Incubus and Succubus, I would suggest that you go when you reach level 91 and above, or level 90. It's okay if you reach level 90 to 99, level 90 to 99. I would suggest that you go to Injustices and Sting. After you get to level 99, and when they increase the limit of your level to 115, that's the time that you go and hunt for Orc Lady. So Orc Ladies are really easy to kill. They have quite okay spawn time in the Clock Tower dungeon, but some people, even in level 90s, they tend to farm at Orc Ladies because it's easier to kill than most of the monsters in Glastheim, and they have higher experience that will be giving you. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be viable for you to go to Orc Lady at an early stage of level 80, but some do it, since the Orc Lady just has around 40,000 HP, so it's quite easier than most of the monsters that you would be encountering in this game. Okay? Now, let's go to stats. The stat builds of snipers are really flexible. They could go to pure int, they could go to pure dexterity, they could go to pure agi, they could go to agi dex luck, they could go to int. But I would just suggest when you're just starting, you can shy away from the agi dex build. Now, if you have only a little amount of status points that you could give to your character since you're a low level, now I would suggest that you only focus on 2 stats, which is agi and dexterity. Don't give too much stats on luck since at the beginning, luck doesn't play a big role on your sniper since the crit would still be very low. You need 3 luck in order to get 1 crit. So number 2, the chances for your Falcon to attack is quite low since you have a low attack speed and you still don't have enough runes for your Falcon to attack more frequently. So I would suggest that you focus on agi and dexterity at the beginning. When you turn to sniper, that's the time that you use those reset stats items or reset skill items if you would. That's the time that you kind of start distributing your stats more evenly if you are an ADL. Now, if you are a trapper, trappers are not that prominent in this game since I only see them being used in Egira. Very rare occurrence of a trapper build being used at the end game. Most of the late game snipers rely on high crit damage and high agility. But if ever you'll be wanting to play a trapper sniper, then it would just be pure int and dexterity. That's it. That's the only 2 stats that you would be needing. But if you are starting, there are no job skills for you to become a trapper even before you're a hunter. So if you are a sniper, that's the time that you kind of think of other builds. Are you going to be a pure agi blitzer or an agi dex blitzer? Because this ranger is an agi dex luck. So if you would look at this one, ADL, look at the stats. So you could see here that his agi is 89, dexterity is 119. By when they release the same episode as this one at the China server, they would also be, of course, allowing us to extend our cap on our stat to more than 99. It looks like it's 2:3:1. The ratio of agi, dex, and luck is 2:3:1. That's close to that. So that's the reason why I'm really urging you guys to stay on the agi dexterity build on the early parts of your game. When you are already getting advanced on your equipments and your items and your runes and your adventure and your job levels, that's the time that you would just start on experimenting things. But as of now, this is the main build, 2:3:1, 2 agi, 3 dexterity, and 1 luck. Okay? Let's go now to skills. As you can see here, if you will be focusing on agility and dexterity on early parts of your game, I would suggest for you to max Elemental Arrow. Next is 10 Owl's Eye, and then next would be your Vulture's Eye, so that would be jump 30, and then a skill up Arrow Shower. Now, Arrow Shower is going to help you a lot on your hunter change. From being an archer to being a hunter, it will really help you since you're going to be killing a lot of mobs on your job change quests. So Arrow Shower is really the thing to go. When you become a hunter, I would suggest that you first focus on improved concentration, and then next Blitz Beat, and then 5 on Beastmaster. So that's already 25. After level 25, you go on Target Fatal Arrow. So that's 5 on Split Arrow and to unlock the Fatal Arrow, and then max on Fatal Arrow. Why do you need Fatal Arrow? It will increase your damage for 10 seconds on the target by 30%. That's a big thing, guys. And when you become a sniper, this is the fun part because this is where you exponentially increase your damage. Now, you would want to max True Sight as soon as possible. Now, after that, I would suggest that you go for Wild Awakening and Tamer, putting 1 skill point after the other, and then Windwalk another 10. So that's 35. Where do you put your other 5? So you would put it to max your Beastmaster. Now, if you would become a trapper build, then the only thing that you would change is that you would sacrifice some of the skills, passive skills of a sniper to get this trap mastery, and this landmine would be your main source of damage. And when you're going to be a Falcon type sniper, I would suggest that you get Falcon Assault because there would be a lot of runes for your Falcon that would be greatly increasing your damage output. So let's go to the 4th one. The 4th one is your equipment. So let's look at the equipment here. What is this? Oh, Magma Gemstone. Anyway, so in contrary with wizards, snipers are really dependent on their equipments. Their damage, their source of damage are really dependent on their equipments, their adventures, store journal cards or equipments, and their bonus stats. So dexterity is really important. Any stat that you would get that would benefit a sniper is really helpful. Now, one of the few things that you would be wanting on your early parts of playing would be, of course, your bow. So you have two choices at the late game. You could choose Crab Bow for Agi Dexterity Lock ADL builds. You could choose Crab Bow or Mystic Bow. Now, for the early parts of the game, there's no choice. I would really suggest that you would get a Mystical Bow. That's it. For your offhand, I would suggest Nile Rose, dropped by the Mistress. So at the very beginning, this is quite high in value, so there's no rush. You could still get others instead of this one, but this is your goal because it increases your ranged physical attack by 15%, and that's a big thing, guys. Okay, next would be your tights. Your tights could be increased to a ranger tights because the tights give 8% attack and dexterity plus 5. Now, for your muffler, you could use undershirt. I think this one is only used because of the attack speed. The muffler of Blue Elves is dropped by Wood Goblin. If you want this, then you could also get this, but I would suggest undershirt because undershirt has additional flee. It is really helpful in the very beginning if you have higher flee, so monsters tend to miss when they attack you. Now, for your boots, I would suggest your feral boots, and then when you upgrade it, it becomes advanced feral boots. So for your accessories, you could use gloves, you could use flower rings, you could use brooch. You have to ask yourself if you're buying for more attack speed or more damage. Now, in the latter parts of the game when a lot of people have already been farming Garms, so Fairy in a Bottle is really good since it has a high attack bonus and it has a 5% to double your damage on your critical damage, okay? So for your headgears, some people would be using the rank D Cat Beret because it adds 5% physical damage to your character. While this one, it adds 3% physical damage to your character, range damage to your character, and 3 dexterity. Since the priority of this character is to achieve as much dexterity as he could, that's the reason why he chose this one. But you could also choose the Cat Beret. For your mid headgear, there's one goal for you for everybody to get the Dragon Scale pattern. It adds 10 dexterity to your character, so it's a big leap on your damage. So it's 10 dexterity, but it is dropped by the Mutant Dragon. So that's one big achievement if you get one of that. And the blowpipe would be your lower headgear. It increases your dexterity by 4, and every time your refine gets to plus 5, plus 10, or plus 15, it would add additional dexterity of plus 1, plus 2, and plus 3 respectively. So this one is dropped by Rafflesia. And for your back gear, so Sakura Puppet is going to be obtainable when the episode 4 is released. So if you are level 100 or 99, it would be adding 300 to your attack, which is really nice. It just causes you bleeding, so a Goron is really helpful. Now, for your tail, I would suggest the Fox Tail. The blueprint is dropped by Ninetail Fox, so it adds a very high amount of flee, so that is really important for your character. Now, that is for the sniper. I'm sure there are a lot of applicable equipments that would be really fitting for a sniper. Now, let's go to number 5, the runes. Okay, so there are 4 things that you would be needing to target when you are a sniper, particularly if you are an ADL. Number 1 is dexterity. Number 2 is crit damage. Number 3 are Falcon runes. This rune map is already modified through the Ranger runes, so it's quite different from the rune sets and the rune map that we would be seeing. But just search for the dexterities, the dexterity rune, the crit damage rune. You could either go for the arrow shower rune or the falcon damage runes. Okay, so that would be your priority in your runes. But as I've said, it would be more beneficial for a sniper to get upgraded with its equipments, the enchants, and the bonuses that the adventure book has. But don't get me wrong, I did not say that you don't focus on your runes. I'm just saying that you focus more on your equipments than your runes. Okay, so I do hope I have helped all of you guys out there. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, please do leave a like, share, and comment whatever inquiry or suggestions. I hope you enjoyed. I have a lot of more exciting guides for you guys out there. We are so excited for the War of Imperium. Although it's still next month, we're all preparing for it. Have you heard of the Ghost Ring card that has been dropped in the market? Oh my goodness! I think the one that put it there is either a GM or somebody who's just really new to the game. I don't know what came to his mind. He did not keep it. But yep. Thank you everybody for watching. See you again next time. Bye bye!